How's it going, everyone? Mega Mashers here, and I bring you guys a very different video. This is a response video to a certain YouTuber who has made a post recently titled My Thoughts on the Landorus ban. And that YouTuber is Verlisify. And I want to say, before I get on with the video, that this is not a hate video, okay? I am actually subscribed to this guy, if you can believe it. He's also one of my inspirations when it comes to me creating this YouTube channel to begin with. And I just gotta say I'm very proud of this channel. With the way that our community is growing one day at a time, I'm proud of you all. But all that will be saved for later videos. Right now, I need to address a few things that you have said in this video that are not really, correct. Like, it makes not really that much sense. So with that being said, I'm going to get to point number one. So the first thing that I want to address is the fact that you state that Landorus Incarnate is not a problem and that Landorus is. Correction, Landorus Incarnate is a problem due to the fact that it gets Sheer Force, which boosts moves like Earth Power, which is Stab, Sludge Wave, which punishes fairies, Psychic, which destroys fighting types, Focus Blast, Bye-Bye Tyranitar, and how about Rock Slide, which means that it takes checks and counters like Zapdos and Gyarados and turns them into 2-hit KOs. And also, I need to mention the fact that Life Orb, the recoil from it gets negated by Sheer Force. And what's even worse is you still get that 30% power boost. So Sheer Force boosts the power moves with a secondary effect by 33.3%, takes away those secondary effects, but that's not the issue. And the fact that it takes away the recoil from Life Orb, you were talking about a 63.3% difference in your power. That is fucked. And the fact that this thing, even though it has base 101 speed, which is one speed point above the average tier in the speed of 100, are you forgetting that this thing gets rock polish, dude? Because after one rock polish, the thing outspeeds pretty much everything in the OU tier and just fires off Sheer Force boosted attacks. And yeah, Focus Blast can miss sometimes, but what if it hits? What if it hits? Then there's going to be a problem. This thing also gets knockoff too, which means it takes one of the premium walls in OU known as Eviolite Chansey. You knock off that Eviolite, that 3-hit KO from Focus Blast now becomes a 2-hit KO, easily. And the fact that Landorus doesn't have that many counters. You have Cresselia and Megalodios as your two quote-unquote counters. But here's the thing. You got strong pursuit users, which are very good partners for Landorus Incarnate, such as Tyranitar, such as Weavile, such as Bisharp, that eat those two Pokemon for breakfast. Like, dude, that is fucked, man. And you want to compare Landorus Incarnate to Landorus and say that Landorus is more of a nuisance? Here's the thing. The fact that a Pokemon can be a lethal mixed attacker, that is like 10 nuisances in once, in my opinion. Now, Landorus is a little bit more manageable to deal with because of the fact that it is mostly physical based. You hardly ever see any special type attacks from Landorus. Therefore, it can be only physical. That means that it will be crippled by the likes of Burn and Toxic. And like I said, it is just much easier to manage. You have Pokemon like Gliscor that can handle it. You have Pokemon such as Mega Scizor that can handle it. You even have Pokemon like Slowbro that can also handle it. I mean, there are so many Pokemon. Oh yeah, Rotom Wash too. Rotom Wash is another problem. And also, you say that Landorus-T takes no skill to play. I gotta warn you about that, friend. It actually takes a lot of skill for a single Pokemon to be played correctly. You don't just throw it out there and think, oh, because it's Landorus Incarnate or that's Mega Charizard X, that it's a badass Pokemon and that, people, like, you can just 6-0 it. It takes skill, and it takes strategy, and it also takes a well-prepared team to work well with Landorus. If you're building a team around Landorus, then your team needs to work well with it. Landorus doesn't get success on its own. And speaking of Mega Charizard X, Landorus T is also one of the premium checks slash counters to Mega Charizard X. You ban Landorus Darien, Mega Charizard X is going to shit all over the OU tier. So that's really the first thing I really need to address. And I just hope that you understand that this is not in any way, shape, and form trying to promote hate or any negativity against you, dude. Like I said, I've been subscribed to you for a long time because your videos are actually quite creative. But it's just, when it comes to things that are Smogon related, I feel like you don't do enough of your research and that it's just like you come up with like flawed opinions is what it is. I mean, an opinion's opinion. Everyone is allowed to have an opinion, but if you're going to comment on something like this, then the least you can do is have some, pool behind your opinion. You know what I mean? Like I said, no hate, brother, no hate. I come in peace. So the next thing that I would like to address is how you quote unquote did your research on this whole Landorus Incarnate ban. See, when you base your research and opinions off of outdated usage statistics all the way from October of last year, that right there is flaw number one. Usage statistics change, my friend. They change every month. And battle spot stats? Come on, man. Really? You're going to compare battle spot to Smogon? Battle spot is very unstable. It's not even worth calling a metagame, dude. It's where you battle 3 versus 3, and you bring literally whatever the fuck you want. You can bring something like your in-game team where you don't even have any level 50 Pokemon, or you can bring a bunch of hacked Ubers legendaries with like just completely overwhelming move sets and EV spreads that dominate even the best OU Pokemon. Like I said, man, Battle Spot really is not a good way to try and formulate your opinions enough to try and, you know, make an opinion and make a case for yourself when it comes to a Smogon case. Battle Spot and Smogon, I reiterate, are two completely different things. And see, you want to talk about how Smogon bans Pokemon based on the fact that they're flavor of the month? Here's the thing. No, they base their bans and their suspect tests based on the factors of over centralization and the limitations of team building. If you see a certain Pokemon used on every single team for every single battle on Pokemon Showdown, or like you're on your 3DS where you battle Smogon rules, there is a problem. If you take Pokemon from lower tiers to specifically try to counter that Pokemon, there's a problem. I'll give you an example right now. Greninja. You say that Greninja has quote unquote no counters. Dude, it can run every single move type with the exception of Fairy and get stab from it. The fact that it gets gunk shot and low kick from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it makes Fairy type Pokemon shit their pants. Now, Fairy type Pokemon are not an issue, and those were the Pokemon that were originally counters to Greninja. But Greninja was just way too overwhelming and too over-centralizing, and you know what? Greninja is my favorite starter Pokemon, and I can't believe that I actually agree with their ban, but I do, because I see where they're coming from. And they don't ban every single Pokemon when it comes to suspect tests. I mean, hell, Mega Metagross didn't get banned. Are you going to give any credit for that? They didn't ban Mega Metagross. And when it comes to their suspect tests, it's an opportunity for everybody to fight and prove their skill so that way that they can have enough legitimacy and enough skill with a coil ranking of however much they want for you to have as a requirement in order for you to cast your vote. They just don't want some random newbie on the site and just say, oh yeah, I want this Pokemon banned because, or no, I don't want this Pokemon banned because. Because what? Why? Um, a little more information. Thank you. Um, but I don't mean to come off as harsh on this one, and I'm someone that doesn't always see eye to eye with Smogon. I mean, hell, when I first heard of Smogon, man, holy fuck. Like, I hated Smogon. But you know what? That will be for another video when it comes to me discussing different things. But getting back on focus here, Smogon knows what they're doing. I mean, they have taken years of research and have studied the battling dynamic and the battling aspect of Pokemon, whereas Nintendo don't give a fuck about that. Example being Mega Rayquaza. That broke the metagame. That broke the Uber metagame, dude. He's the first Pokemon ever to be banned from Ubers. So the fact that Smogon puts on these suspect tests and they ban Pokemon based on things like over centralization and limiting of team building, I agree with them. I actually agree 100% with what they're doing. I didn't agree with it before, but now that I had enough of an open mind to see the perspective and to just understand, like what they're about, I get it. And I feel like that if you opened your mind a little bit, then you might understand that too. And again, I'm not saying this to shit on you, dude. I'm really not, man. I'm here to help. So take it how you see it, my dude. But that's all I gotta say about that part. So the last thing I want to address, of all things that I seen and heard in your video, there were three main things that stuck out. I addressed the first two, and the last thing I want to address is how you mention how Landorus should be banned since its usage is so high, but yet you complain about Swagger being banned, seeing how everybody was using it. Now, let me tell you something about Swagger. Swagger is a luck-based move. Swagger got banned because of the fact that you can easily abuse luck-based moves in the special case of Klefki and Liepard, and just completely mess with your teams. And you got other moves such as minimize, double team. They're easily spammable, and they take next to no skill to use because you can just boost your evasion until you can't get hit and then stall out the game. It's like, okay, really, where's the fun in that? See, luck is there for a reason, though. I mean, luck, I'm not going to knock on luck. I think luck adds a very spicy dynamic to battles. It can turn the tide in battles when it comes to things like hacks, when it comes to things, like such as critical hits or whatever. But deliberate abuse of luck-based moves, such as swagger and minimize and double team, I mean, come on, like that takes less skill to use than using Landorus, in which you said in your words takes no skill to use. I'm going to tell you this right now from a friend to a friend. Don't be saying stuff like that. It takes skill to use Landorus. It takes skill to use any Pokemon in the OU tier. Partially because of the fact that you can't just throw the Pokemon in battle and expect it to just work its magic, or 6-0 teams. There's got to be strategy behind it. You got to know when to bring that Pokemon in. You got to know how to predict. You got to know how to build a team around it. You get it? I mean, again, I'm not trying to get hard on you, but I've seen videos like these that you've made in the past, and I've seen how much trouble that you've got in. I don't want to see that happen again, because when I heard about that shit, I'm just like, fuck, dude, like that's horrible. And you know what? Like, it's also not fair to Smogon either that they got blanket blamed for the amount of cyberbullying that happened on your end, I mean, like, man, like I've met some really fucking nice people on Smogon forums. And this group that I'm a part of, that I'm absolutely honored to be a part of, Pokemon Central, there's a lot of Smogon players there. And you know what? All they want to do is just help. I mean, I've seen some of the most disgusting and intense conversations from people who do nothing but flame down Smogon and say, Smogon is bad, Smogon's for fags, Smogon's gay, whatever. But you know what? It's like some of the people that just want to help, they help with a smile. They're so calm. That's what I love about them. And I feel like that if you just like I said, have an open mind and understand that Smogon is not here to take away fun. And Smogon is definitely not the be all end all. No one is saying that Smogon is the way to play. There are different ways of playing Pokemon, there are different ways of battling. And I respect every single way that there is to play. When it comes to battling, too. But when you're battling someone, at least have a mutual agreement to what kind of stipulation you want to battle under. Do you want to battle under Smogon rules? Do you want to battle free for all? Do you want to battle Ubers? Like, just something like that, right? Like, there are people who play VGC. There are people who, play by Nintendo rules or whatever. It's like, you know, I respect every single set of rules there is. In my opinion, there's no set of rules or no way of playing that tops the other. People play Pokemon for the storyline. People play Pokemon to catch and fill the entire Pokedex. Other people play Pokemon to breed. Other people play Pokemon to shiny hunt. There's endless possibilities. And it goes back to what I'm saying before about the way people battle and the rules that Smogon makes. They're not doing these to take away the fun. And yeah, they're unofficial, but they're competitive. And that's something else that you got to really ease up a bit, is not to keep reminding us that it's unofficial. We get it. We are unofficial. But for the fact that there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of players worldwide who play by Smogon rules, I think it'd be kind of cool if it'd be official. They should have some kind of tournament. I mean, Smogon rules. Fuck yeah, dude. I think that'd be cool. I mean, it's obvious, through implications and the way I talk about it, I am a Smogon guy. I am. But, like I said, I respect endlessly and equally the rule sets of different ways of battling. I'm open minded to battling someone with any stipulation. But, oh my god, I'm getting way off topic here. So, basically, to close this video, I just want to say to you, Verlisify, you know, I hope that you do not take any offense to what I said. I did my absolute best to try and keep it as professional and as right down the middle and as clean as possible. Normally, you'd see me flipping the fuck out, right? But it's like, when it comes to things like this, I kind of just want to take it easy and just kind of want to have a cooler head and really put things into perspective. So I hope that you take something good from this video, and I want you to know that I will always be subscribed to you. You push out great content. I love your Fan Fridays. Unexpected videos for the win. But when it comes to Smogon videos, like when it comes to, giving your thoughts and opinions about, bans or suspect tests, that's all good and gravy, man. But, don't just state false facts, because, that right there just spreads misinformation. And I don't like misinformation. I don't think anybody does. So I want to thank you for watching this video, Verlisify, if you do. And I want to thank everyone for watching this video. And I hope you guys have a good night. And I want to apologize in case anyone's wondering why I have my shirt off. I just came home from work, and I'm exhausted as fuck. I'm about ready to go to bed. But I felt like I needed to push out this video for you guys. So hope you guys have a good one. Take care. And I shall see you guys next upload.